Today I'd like to address the House in relation to the proposed new rent certainty legislation. We all know that many parts of this country, and this city in particular, is in the midst of a housing and rental crisis. Many of our clinics are attended by families one rent hike away from being out on the street and homeless. Arbitrary rent increases, due to a complete failure by this government to increase supply of housing, has caused a very serious rental bubble that directly affects our capital and many large urban areas in this country. Fine Gael have ignored this crisis and have always held the view that any interference with the rental market was untenable. However, in the last hours of this term, Minister Coveney presented ill-thought-out legislation that has attempted to railroad through legislation into this House with any proper consultation. We all know that ill-thought-out and rushed legislation is never a good idea. We saw this with the disastrous creation of Irish Water in 2013, which is, as we know, the Achilles heel of this government. This flippant manner of the introduction of this legislation is, in my opinion, quite negligent. When you are dealing with such a serious policy issue that affects tens and thousands of people and will have long-lasting effects on the housing market on a whole. Saying that, Fianna Fáil has always been a strong advocate for rent certainty. However, such legislation should have been introduced in a meaningful and considered fashion, where long, medium and short-term effects were all considered. Fianna Fáil believes a 4% increase on top of other increases is far too high. We would envisage a 1 to 2% increases, which would include the wider geographic areas and with a taxation policy that will actually encourage supply, so that once the housing market catches up, intervention in the rental market can be reviewed and dismantled. Many struggling families are watching us in Leinster House this Christmas. I hope the Government can make serious efforts to resolve this impasse so that families can take some comfort in the knowledge that they won't have to face any more rent hikes in 2017 and further afield, and that they will give their children some security this Christmas that they deserve. We know Fianna Fáil are open to discussions, and I hope this matter can be resolved this end of Christmas.